Hi everyone, this is the last video in the Kurinuki series. If you're in Ceramics 1, you should be at this point now where you have a Kurinuki cup. So a cup that's been hollowed out from a solid form. We've carved the foot, we've refined the rim, and then we pinched and pulled and attached a handle. So this is where you should be right now. If you are in Ceramics 2 or 3, or you're in AP 3D Design and you chose to do the Kurinuki project, the Kurinuki project for you is the Kurinuki Miyoto Yunomi, and that is 2 matching cups with no handles. So the process is the same, where you created a form from hollowing it out, you've carved a foot and refined the rim, and this is the stage where you should be at now. Okay. The last step in completing this project is using that TYVEK material. So what you got in your kit was a 1 ounce container of black underglaze. So I bought mine online, so I have 2 ounces, but you guys each got 1 ounce in a little plastic cup. You should have your tool that you created and your TYVEK material. Hopefully you've already created a design that is suitable to use, and if you watched that last video, I think it's step 3, at the very end of it I talk about how to create a design. I chose to create something very simple, so I made a crescent moon and a full moon shape with my TYVEK material. Also, don't forget to take a look at the handout for your project. It has some examples of water etching on the very first page. I'm going to just set this on here, and I'm very lightly just going to trace around it with my tool. Your clay should now be a very hard leather hard. So I'm just going to go around it really loose and rough, just so I kind of know where to put my black underglaze. Okay, and then I'm just going to paint the black underglaze in that area. And I'm going to let it dry. You want to put the TYVEK material right over the area that you painted black. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on both of my black crescent moons. Okay, once I have my TYVEK attached, I'm just going to start wiping away all the excess underglaze that's around it. So I'm wiping away from the TYVEK material. So I'm kind of holding it in place and then wiping away from the TYVEK stencil. At first it's just going to look really smudgy, but you're going to keep wiping until all the smudges are gone. You'll start to see that the TYVEK material has really firmly adhered itself to the surface of your cup. And you're also going to keep wiping, and what you're trying to do is wipe just a bit of that surface layer of clay off of the cup. So you're going to leave a raised design where the TYVEK material is. So the stencil is protecting the clay and the underglaze underneath it, and you're just thinning the walls even more. And on this one cup, I did both a positive and a negative design. So Positive means it leaves a dark mark, and negative means it's leaving the absence of a mark. So for the full moon in the center, I did not do black underglaze underneath it. I simply applied the TYVEK material to the surface of the clay. For the crescent moons, I did black underglaze underneath it, so 3 layers, and then I dry between layers, and then I apply my TYVEK material and start etching. So etching is just removing away this excess clay and excess underglaze. So now it's just a process of wiping and wiping and wiping. And if you can be patient and do a few minutes of this, you'll have a much better design than if you just do it a little bit. Okay, as I do this, I want to remove any stray marks or textures that I feel are undesirable to my design. And I want to be careful not to use too much water because I don't want to super saturate my pot. If I do that, then my pot will start to crack apart. So we're trying to control the level of moisture here. All right, that looks pretty good to me. So now you can see what it looks like. If you look at the edges of this TYVEK design, you can see it looks like it's kind of raised up from the rest of the cup. And when you remove the design, you'll see what's left behind. I'll start with the crescent moon because if you remember, that part did not have black underglaze on it. So I just lift the edge a little bit, pull off the material, and you should be able to see this little bit of a raised edge, and that's a really cool thing to have under a translucent glaze. If you did the black underglaze, it might be a little bit more exciting. So I'm just going to lift up the edge there. And peel away the material. And you can see that I'm now left with a raised, very crisp black crescent moon. So I'll do the same thing on the other side. So now I have 2 crescent moons and a full moon in my design, all water etched, all using the TYVEK material and the black underglaze that you were sent. All right, don't forget to write your name on the bottom of your pot. Take a picture of your pot, maybe from a couple of different angles, and post it on Google Classroom. That'll be your finished project.